Hey everybody, Leah Klett here with the Christian Post, and joining me today is actor, producer, and director Kirk Cameron. We're talking about season 2 of his series, Iggy and Mr. Kirk. Season 1 was born out of what you called a cry of parents for safe and meaningful content. What type of reaction did you get from season 1, and how did that inform season 2?
You're exactly right. Parents all over the country and grandparents are rightly concerned about the moral content that's being fed to our children. If we fed our kids a steady diet of Skittles and Doritos and funnel cake, we would not be surprised if our kids turned out unhealthy. Well, that's the digital equivalent of what many children's TV shows are for kids, and it's hurting them. It's making them sick and unhealthy, full of anxiety and worry. They don't have attention spans. They don't respect authority. They have a sense of morality that is upside down. They don't know what truth is. So when parents began to write in, this is what we've been looking for. This is like Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood for our generation. This is like Sesame Street that's pointing kids towards scripture and truth and beauty and goodness. Uh, we were like, we did it, like this was sending the football through the goalposts for children's television. And we wanted to just continue that trajectory with season 2. So now that kids and parents have watched the first 10 episodes, the next 10 episodes begin to be released today. And we're going to be diving deeper into all the subjects that kids are wrestling with. Who am I? Why am I here? Who is my friend? Who can I trust? What is wisdom? Is everything I hear on the internet true? What's more important, my friends or my family? What does it mean to forgive somebody? And how do I ask for forgiveness? How do I love my enemies and people who think differently than I do or who look differently than I do? All of this stuff is the thing that parents can't figure out. We're having a hard enough time. Imagine for our kids. So little 5-year-old Iggy the iguana is learning these things in our backyard treehouse, and all the little kids around the country are going to be learning these lessons with them.
Well, the show is just so sweet. And Kirk, you've grown up in the media, right? You have been kind of on the front lines of seeing what is going on in Hollywood and in culture. What are some of the issues you see kids facing today that they weren't facing 10, 20, 30 years ago?
Well, the kinds of things that our grandparents never would have imagined that 5, 6, 7, 8-year-olds would have to wrestle with. Whoever would have thought that kids wouldn't know whether or not they're a boy or a girl?
Mhm.
I mean, that's like asking, a kid their colors. Is this green or is this yellow? Well, that's pretty basic. But we've scrambled the understanding of biology and science and DNA, and then we've deleted things like true religion, understanding what it means to love God and love your neighbor, to love others and treat them the way that you would like to be treated, understanding that telling the truth is important and forgiving people who have wronged you is really important, because that's the only way relationships and families work. These are things that are just given, kind of woven into the American moral and ethical fabric for our grandparents. You kind of couldn't survive if you didn't do that. You'd burn in, or you would not be able to hold together when outside forces attacked your family or your nation. But today, we've kind of gotten rid of a lot of that, and parents and grandparents are longing to teach their kids the ancient paths. And this is what Iggy and Mr. Kirk strives to do through fun stories, beautiful animation, great music that's going to hold kids' attention, along with humor and truth from a supercomputer that is not woke. It is totally based in truth and values that will lead to their blessing.
Yeah. Well, Iggy's struggle with identity has resonated with so many parents, and I love that you bring that up. So tell me about season 2, and will it continue exploring these themes of self-worth and God-given purpose? And how do you communicate those truths in an age-appropriate way, but also resonate with parents as well? Because I think it does that really well.
The classic shows that have stood the test of time and that we love to watch generation after generation are shows that don't just capitalize on shallow trends that come and go, but timeless themes that we want to keep coming back to because we forget easily. We need to be reminded of what's true. Think about it. As parents, we turn on the news and we're wondering what's true, who's lying, and who's got a secret agenda. Well, imagine how much more difficult it is for kids to understand their world. And that's why God gave them parents and grandparents. And I think uh, could I be so bold to say maybe that's why um, we're giving them Iggy. Iggy is a little iguana who needs to learn the same lessons that they do, and Iggy's being informed by his parents. He's being informed by the ancient scriptures that our forefathers and foremothers read that kept their families strong and developed the United States of America into a country that is uh, about the land of the free and the home of the brave and justice for all. And every time we stray from those principles, even if we say we believe them, if we don't actually live them out, we suffer. And families get injured and the nation becomes weak and divided. But if we get back to those principles, and the way to get back to them is to teach them to your children and play the long game. Not just get the current White House administration to tell the truth. That's important. But the long game is to raise an entire generation of millions of children who love the truth and they live out what's good and they honor God and love their neighbors. If we can do that, we can turn the whole country around.
Well, digital media is shaping children younger than ever before. In your opinion, what does it mean to harness technology for good instead of acting like it doesn't exist and shielding children from it? Because that's not a reality in the world that we're in today.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think God, I'm sorry, let me say that again. I don't think that technology has taken God by surprise.
Mhm.
Uh, I think it's taken us by surprise because we don't see the future. We can speculate and imagine, and people used to think of what it would be like in the new millennium. What would the 21st century be like? You remember Prince had his song 1999. Boom, it's over. So just everybody party because we don't know what's going to happen. Remember Y2K? We thought all the computers were going to zero out and everything was going to, who knows, like disappear and collapse into the universe or something, or we were going to go back to the Stone Age. But I believe that technology advances because we're creative people, we are resourceful people, and we create new tools to help us accomplish what we were made to accomplish. The problem is that our moral responsibility often is so far behind our technological ability that we don't know how to use technology for good.
Yeah.
So we can pull apart DNA and create new critters and creatures. People are trying to bring back the dinosaurs. Well, that sounds really cool, but what happens if you have them actually running around? You have Jurassic Park and makes a great movie, but it would make a terrible reality for us today. What happens when you're creating little human beings as a government and genetically selecting them to be the best soldiers, and then they're just property of the government? This is not responsible because we've got to go back to the owner's manual. And I think that's what we endeavor to do with Iggy and Mr. Kirk is use supercomputers like Iggy's. He has it mounted on the wall in his treehouse, and her name is Maple. I forgot what Maple stands for. I got to go back and read it. But it's a supercomputer that is not just Chat GPT. It's not just Siri. This is a computer that has true wisdom, not
Mhm.
just data and information, but a perspective that allows Iggy to see the truth and build strong friendships, to invest in his family, and to live a life where he's blessed and he's protected. So technology is just like a car. People used to think that cars were just going to destroy the world and we should just stay on horses and buggies. But cars can be great, and so are airplanes and trains. And technology of all sorts, I think, is good as long as we have the wisdom to know how to use it for good.
Give me some wisdom on how Christian parents can be responsible when it comes to AI and the way that we handle AI, the way that we talk to our kids about AI, because this is a brand new thing that no
Mm.
one has charted before. What biblical wisdom do you have when it comes to artificial intelligence?
I think it was A.W. Tozer who said something like, the devil is the best theologian I know, and yet he is a devil still.
Mm-hmm.
You see, intelligence alone, education and information alone, without values, without wisdom from above, C.S. Lewis said, only creates a smarter Satan.
Mm-hmm.
See what I'm saying? So the idea of AI is that you have a PhD in your pocket on every subject.
Mm-hmm.
It can access all the information. It's smart as a whip. It understands not just your theology, but it understands every other false religion's theology as well. And if you tell your AI bot to think like the devil, it will give you very smart, cogent, rational strategies to undermine your children's future and the world. And it will have no moral qualms about doing that because it doesn't have a conscience other than the ones someone programs it with. So if I were the devil, I would absolutely look to co opt AI as much as possible. But if I were a Christian, and I am, I remember that God is working all things together for good for those who love him and are the called according to his purpose. And AI is included in what he has, in his providence, allowed to come to us and to our children and our generation. And it ought to be used as a very powerful tool that we have to be really responsible with. So, just like you wouldn't give your kid the keys to the truck at 10 years old and say, go have a good time. You wouldn't hand them a firearm and say, have fun. You've got to be responsible. Don't throw your kid a tablet and say, have fun with Grok. It's your new best friend and mentor.
Mm-hmm.
You got to teach them, and you've got to have, restraints and guardrails put up until they know how to use it responsibly.
Mm. That's really good.
But I agree with you. I don't think it's going away. I don't think you go back on that stuff. I don't think anybody wants to go back to horses and walking as the only means of transportation. But if we're not responsible, we could take nuclear energy to power things and end up being so irresponsible that we blow up the world and we go back to that. That's always an option. And that could happen with AI too, but I don't think it has to. I think it could be used for great good.
Well, I think it's so interesting you mentioned how rapidly they're creating technologies outpacing any sort of moral code or understanding. And that is
Mm,
where I think so many parents are concerned. But I love that you
sure.
remind us that God is sovereign over all of these things, regardless of
Yeah.
what is going on in culture.
Yeah. It may be the very wake up call that we need. I've always found when I look through scripture and I read right perspectives on historical events that are catastrophes and disasters, they're often the very thing that wakes people up.
Mm-hmm.
It's the alarm. It's the thing that makes them say, "Wow, look what we've done. Look how irresponsible we've been. We've forgotten God. We've got to pray. We've got to thank Him. We've got to obey His word." And AI may be one of those things that sobers us up. And I think it's right to be concerned, but I don't think that is designed by God to put fear in our hearts, and I don't think it means that the devil is ruling the world. God is the ruler of the world. He is the sovereign. The devil is a defeated foe, and AI is the next chapter in the technology book.
Mm-hmm.
And it's exciting times, and we better get on it with both feet and lead the journey that of AI, not just sort of like hang on to the tail and see where it goes. That's never a good plan.
It is the Christmas season. Iggy and Mr. Kirk is launching today. What is your
That's
hope
right.
for every family as they sit down and watch this show together this Christmas season?
Well, I live in Tennessee. It's really cold. I think it was 25 degrees last night. I went out to go check on my chickens, and their little water dish was frozen solid. So they're trying to peck through it. And the kids are going to be going crazy. If they can't get outside, they're going to be climbing the walls, and you might want to turn on the television. Well, here's a great show that you could show your kids. It's called Iggy and Mr. Kirk. Just go to watchiggy.com if you can watch this on your phone or tablet, or if you've got the Angel network where you watch The Chosen. Iggy is streaming on Angel. It's also streaming on Brave Plus. That's Brave Books' own streaming platform. And you can see it either place. Just go to watchiggy.com and then it'll show you with links where you can watch it. And you can watch the first 5 episodes of season 2, along with the first 10 episodes of season 1 if you haven't seen those yet. And then on December 10th, the next 5 episodes will come out. So you have an entire Christmas season worth of a kids' TV show that you will love, that your children will be captivated by, with pro God, pro America values that you will appreciate.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more Christ-centered journalism.